Hey, this is Scotty from the Gifford Group, and today I wanted to do an updated video on our divorce buyout calculator. Now, we've had it around for a couple of years, and I've always been trying to make changes based on feedback and based on my real life experience of using it, as we've helped 300 people walk through divorce, and we've helped people do refinances or sell the home. So I use the tool a lot myself, and so usually when I'm talking to clients, I usually kind of use the calculator, and then so I actually added some new things to it today where you can actually see how much a mortgage payment would be. So let's go check that out. So here we are on the giffordgroup.net, and if you go down to the divorce buyout calculator, it'll load up this page. If you are interested, we have multiple different free resources. One of them here is on divorce equity worksheet that we will email to you. You can share it with your attorneys. You can also, I'll show you, you can input your email and it'll actually email you a copy of the outputs here. So the three things that this calculator kind of does, it's more than just the buyout calculator. It also shows you what would happen if you were looking to sell. So I'll walk you through kind of the three main things it does. You can put in your property address here. You can get fill out this form to get pre-approved. We'll send you a link to get filled out. You just put your email address and it'll send the results. So I've already put in some inputs. It defaults just some inputs to show you. They're really only two major things, and then you have some options to do the other things. So the two main inputs, you just need to put in the home's value. In this case, we have 365, and then how much our current mortgage is. And the very first thing it tells you is, hey, like, this is how much the raw equity is. Obviously, we can never tap 100% of the home's equity because there's always costs of either doing the refinance or doing the sell. It's not really that useful, but I wanted to include it as well because sometimes people believe that's the kind of situation is. And then we do have a ability to include, if you have other debts or other liens that you want to include as an equity split, you can do that as well. For now, I won't do anything. This tab here is about showing the difference between if you're doing a cash out versus a buyout. Now here at the Gifford Group, we do recommend that you do a buyout in most cases, but with cash out, you're gonna be limited to 80% of the home's equity. So you're kind of leaving more money in the home. And sometimes we need to roll another debt. So being able to tap more equity can be useful at times. Now the very first thing that kind of calculation it does for you is the splitting the home. Now me and Amber are both realtors here in the Houston market. We partner with realtors across the state of Texas and throughout the country to help if you are going through a divorce situation and you need to get someone connected to help you sell the home. We can help you with that as well. But so what I've done here is kind of include like the cost, and we put it as 8.5%, kind of a default. Some realtor fees, the buy side, the sell side realtor fees, some taxes that you'd be paying, and maybe some closing costs. Now it's not exact. You can increase it if you want to go up to say 9, but I think this is probably a good guesstimate. So this is based off the sales price, and then tells you how much equity would be left after you sell the home, and then what you would each split. So about $42,000 split here. So like I say, once again, you put your email address in here, it'll send you the result. Just click the button, it'll email you the results within seconds. So the new part of the calculator is the ability to tell you how much your mortgage payment would be. So, and I'll explain this two sections right here. So let's just start with the idea that if you are refinancing, you would be getting a new mortgage. You're not keeping the same mortgage. I do have a video. We talk about doing assumptions. You can go check that video out, and I have built an assumption calculator that you can go check it out too. I'll include that link below as well too. But so the idea is that there's going to be costs doing through the assumption. There's going to be costs associated with doing the buyout. So right now I've defaulted at about 0.35%. Now that's obviously not all our fees. Those are fees for the title and fees for taxes and insurance and other things like that. So it's kind of a placeholder. Obviously the higher the loan, the probably less will be. The less the loan, the probably higher it'll be as a percentage. That's why it's kind of a range, say 2 to 5%. And then I give you the ability to put in your yearly taxes, yearly HOAs, yearly cost for insurance. So just give you some flexibility there. So the first column here is showing the 80% loan to value. Now this is once again based off the home's value. So that'd be 80% of the 365. And then this number is actually telling you, kind of like doing the math for you, saying how much mortgage would I need if I'm giving, say, basing the buyout based on the 80% loan to value, assuming we can't tap all the home's equity, and then what that mortgage payment would be at a 30-year fixed rate mortgage at this 6.875, and then that's your monthly insurance, and then it kind of just gives you total new monthly mortgage payment. So it kind of at least gives you an idea, like, what would my new mortgage payment be all in? Because you should have, if you already own the home, you should have an idea what your kind of yearly taxes are, yearly insurance are, and then it kind of tells you, okay, based on your debt to income ratios over here and any other debts you have, how much money you would need to make to be able to afford this new mortgage. So kind of does a lot of the math for you, at least gives you a ballpark. Obviously, this can't get you for loan approval. If you are in the middle of a divorce and you are having questions, you can obviously reach out to us at the Gifford Group. You can schedule a call with us, and I will link to where you can schedule a free call with us as well. I set it up here as a debt-to-income ratio kind of 38%. Now, we've gotten approval above 50% on some certain types of loans. 45 is probably the upper end for conventional. But you can see that if you go up to 45, you can get qualified for, say, less, even with those other debts. Obviously, if you don't have any other debts, you can just take those out. And this is your other monthly debts, not your like your energy bill and other stuff like that, or cell phone. Really talking about car payments. We're talking about credit cards and student loans. And then the idea, I have a credit score in there to kind of help calculate the PMI. So on the other side, if you are, what we recommend is kind of doing the buyout, using the Owelty Lien buyout. Allows you to tap up the 95% home's equity. So the 365 from up above, that's going to be at the 95%. And so it allows you to tap more equity to pay off maybe other debts if you need to. Obviously, the mortgage is going to be higher because you're tapping more equity, and you're giving your spouse more equity as well too. So it'll kind of give you, hey, the mortgage will be higher because you're borrowing a higher mortgage amount. Tax insurance will be the same because you input those, and then it puts a PMI, because if you are borrowing over 80% loan to value, you would have private mortgage insurance. And except in the case of, let's say, a VA loan, where you won't have private mortgage insurance, you'd be limited at probably 90% of the home's value. So obviously in that case, we can help you there too. But this is kind of like giving you a quick ballpark numbers, kind of the back of the napkin kind of thing, with some actual numbers you can take to at least give a situation. Like I say, I do use this tool a lot myself when I'm talking to people, at least to kind of give you a ballpark before we get you officially approved. So the other thing kind of shows you at the bottom is the equity split. See if you are, let me talk about one more thing on income. So like if you are borrowing more, you probably need to make more as well too. Makes sense, right? Based off the same ratios and the other debts. So the last thing here is just kind of equity split, equity left in the home. So it shows you here about, hey, it's about $42,000 that you're going to give your out spouse if you're keeping the home and borrowing 95%, which is, if you remember, is very similar, if not the exact same number to what if you sold the home. So the idea, if you are borrowing 95% of the home's equity, it's very close. In this case, it's almost exactly the same, based if you were actually selling the home and paying the realtor fees, assuming you sold it for the same price that it got approved at. Now, one of the questions we always run into a lot is, will I actually need to get my own appraisal? Do not order your own appraisal if you are going to go with the process of divorce. We always recommend that you let your lender, say if we are going to be your lender, we will order the appraisal for you. It's part of the process to help establish the home's value, which then you can use to help establish the buyout amount. So there's some variables that go into this. This is not always just going to say, hey, I know the home's value, and so that's how much I can get. We obviously need to get the home's value approved. We need to get you approved as far as your income and your other debts. And if we need to pay off those any of the debts to actually be able to keep the home, then we can do that as well. So it's always like one call away, and then you can make informed decisions about everything. But hopefully you find, I know this calculator is very complex, and even my wife sometimes, who's the realtor of our group, gets to say, hey, that's a lot of numbers. I'm the numbers person, so if you ever have any questions about the calculator, give us a call. We're happy to help you, walk you through it. If you have any questions about actually doing the buyout, we're actually here to help you. But I think just wanted to provide an excellent tool. Hopefully you find it very useful. If you do, hopefully like this video, subscribe. We have lots of other content on our channel about divorce. And just as always, we're here to bring you real life experience to all your real estate